अंडमान हमारा है, ये सबसे प्यारा है, अंडमान हमारा।
Andaman and Nicobar are two completely groups of islands lying in the Indian Ocean, southeast of India. Situated in the Bay of Bengal, the islands are made up of 572 islands, of which only 38 are inhabited. On 26 December 2004, a severe earthquake struck the islands, causing tsunami and extensive damages to life and property. Over 6,000 lives were lost. People lost their houses and other assets like livestock, crops, boats, fishing tools and shops. In many parts, the land was inundated by the saline seawater, making this unfit for agriculture. CARE is an international NGO which responds to emergencies and helps people recover from disasters. Immediately after the devastation caused by tsunami, CARE India initiated an emergency response program in the islands. CARE India's Tsunami Response Program, TRP, is a multi-dimensional project which aimed to reach the socially and economically marginalized populations in tsunami-affected areas of the islands. CARE undertook a range of relief and rehabilitation work, providing the affected communities assets like boats, fishing nets, safe housing, community-based disaster preparedness and strengthening of ICDS program of the government in several facets, including support to establish a training-cum-resource center. As part of its long-term post-disaster development efforts, CARE sought to promote sustainable livelihood of the local communities. Building on its vast experience in promoting sustainable institutions offering microfinance services to poor and marginalized communities, CARE pioneered a savings-led microfinance and livelihood initiative in the islands after the disaster. Through this program, CARE promoted nearly 1,000 self-help groups among the marginalized and vulnerable communities of the islands with the objective of increasing access to finance services, promoting sustainable and viable income-generating activities, enhancing income levels, strengthening their coping mechanisms, and to mainstream gender and disaster preparedness in development initiatives. CARE strategically focused on promoting SHGs of women as a means of building solidarity among women from the same locality, which will enable them to come together to meet several of their common interests. In implementing this long-term development program, CARE had to face several startup challenges. Tough geographical terrain and dispersed villages with and poor road connectivity and communication made reaching the remote parts of the islands and ensuring inclusive development a real challenge. The islands had a limited presence of local civil society institutions, offering less scope for CARE to find an institution to partner with. There were also challenges in coordinating with the various government departments and service providers and finding good local talent for community mobilization. CARE sought to address these challenges by developing a pool of resource persons from the local community. Qualified youth from the local community who were interested in the development of the community were identified and developed as community resource persons. Being part of the local communities, they were better placed to understand their various needs and serve these on a long-term basis. CARE invested considerably in building their capacities on various aspects of microfinance and livelihood. For building their capacities, CARE employed various methods like classroom training, exposure visits to civil society organizations in mainland India. They were also continuously mentored by the officials of CARE to build their confidence and help them to troubleshoot issues they faced in their work. The community resource persons have undertaken a massive exercise by identifying the vulnerable population, initiated the process of group formation through a dialogue and motivation process. Subsequent to the intensive training, the CRPs took up the task of community mobilization and formation of SHGs. To gain sufficient knowledge on the demography of the village, economic status of the inhabitants, and ensure that the poor are included, CRPs develop good rapport with panchayat members, elders in the village, as well as the service providers in the community like Anganwadi ayas and teachers. CRPs then collect information from local panchayat office on number of households below poverty level, number of women and men in the village, occupation of the people, and natural resources available within the village. Then, based on the data gathered, poor households are identified for participation in this program, and CRPs make door-to-door visit to mobilize women from these households. CRPs approach the women in the age group of 18 to 60 from poor households and encourage them to participate in an initial meeting where they explain the concept of SHG and how women in other regions have benefited from this solidarity group. Women who express interest are formed into groups with 10 to 20 members. In their first meeting, the groups evolve some common agreement on the time and place of meeting, penalties for non-attendance, decide on the amount they will all save, and finalize the procedures to be followed for lending to the members. The group also elects its own leaders, a president and a secretary who will convene and preside over meetings, manage the group transactions, and operate the group bank account. The proceeding of meetings, the rules of the group, name of the members, and the transactions are recorded in a single register CARE has designed. A large section of the rural population, mainly women, are not able to save or get loan from a bank. Banks are unable to deal with this large segment of the rural poor as the costs are high. However, banks find it easier to provide them savings and credit services when routed through SHGs. The SHG approaches a nearby bank for account opening after conducting its first meeting. This is the first but significant step in the direction of financial inclusion. The group approaches the bank with an application for account opening and provides the bank with the savings collected in the first meeting along with a resolution copy showing the intent of all group members to open a bank account, a group photo, and an identification proof. The CRP plays a crucial role in this process by helping the group to put together all the records, filling up the application form, and providing a letter of introduction. These applications are verified by bank officials, and the group is provided an account at the bank which will be jointly operated by the leaders of the group.
SHG group में आने के बाद
After we joined the SHG group, the connection between us and bank has been improved because we never knew how things worked, like opening an account, withdrawing money from bank. But now being a part of SHG group, I'm well aware of this and we are not afraid of approaching the bank.
Our focus, one of our focus areas after the disaster in Andaman Nicobar Islands was financial inclusion for women. And it was a big challenge because of the distance, because of the remoteness, because of the access in the islands. And our team, I think, did a great job of mobilizing 10,000 women for the financial inclusion component, and have very successfully linked them to NABARD, to State Bank, and to the local state cooperative bank. And I'm very glad that the total savings is around 2.4 crores as of now. So, which I think is a big achievement considering the challenges that actually face us in the Andaman Nicobar Islands.
Post tsunami, when the livelihoods were at peril, CARE has come voluntarily to start beyond disaster management a kind of sustainable livelihood program. The groups formed by the CARE are one thing one has to admit, they are all very high quality. They did quite a lot of spade work on group formation, group dynamics, and also the maintenance of books and all those things, and linking the groups to the banks.
Promotion of SHGs and linking of these groups to the banks provides the members with an important avenue for safe saving. The small amounts of money each member can afford to save and which they might hesitate to take individually to banks is now aggregated and saved at the bank. In addition to providing an opportunity for its poor members to save, the SHE also offers them small loans based on their savings to smoothen their consumption needs and for investment in small businesses they run. The group also charges a mutually accepted interest on these loans, which goes on to increase its corpus. After the money is internally lent in a group meeting, the transactions are entered into books of accounts and the balance money is deposited with bank savings account. This enables the group members to meet some of their credit needs with their savings and also provides them an opportunity to save the remaining money safely with a bank and use it for their needs whenever an occasion arises. This process of collecting savings and lending among themselves furthers the trust amongst the members in a SHE and generates social capital. This financial transaction within the group also builds its credibility with the banks. Members of the group who have been unable to get a loan from banks at nominal interest rate now overcome this exclusion. An important focus of the program has been capacity building of women in governing and managing their group activities on a sustainable basis. CRPs help them by organizing training programs on various aspects like SHE governance, leadership, and bookkeeping. The CRPs also attend the group meetings to provide mentoring support and help them in troubleshooting any issues that might emerge. Members of SHEs attach substantial importance to these trainings and have in many instances developed leadership capacities to manage their group by themselves.
मैं लोटस ग्रुप की मेंबर हूँ और अपने ग्रुप में
I am the president of Lotus SHG. I take the initiative to solve the problem whenever it arises by discussing it in the group and develop consensus from all the members. As a leader, now I take steps to solve issues not just inside the group but in my community too.
After saving and internally lending among themselves for a period of 6 months, the SHEs take the next major step of applying to banks for loans. The loan demand for each individual is raised based on their specific need. The group acts as an intermediary for an individual member to access loan from banks. The group examines the purpose of the loan requested by an individual member and based on the member's past performance in regularity of attendance, monthly savings and repaying internal loans recommends for the loan amount by passing a resolution in the monthly meeting. Once the total loan demand is identified in the group, the CRPs play a critical role in taking forward the process. An important task every CRP does in this respect is evaluating the group before they help them to apply and negotiate for the loan. The critical rating index developed by NABARD is used for this purpose. This helps the CRPs to assess the quality of groups based on a set of standard parameters and provides them the confidence to proceed with the loan application. Based on grading a group sets, the group's loan document is submitted to the bank where they have the savings account. The bank scrutinizes the application by visiting the group, verifying the group dynamics, CRI, and books of accounts. If the group is found suitable, the bank extends loan to a group on the basis of the amount of its savings with the bank. The sanctioned loan amount is transferred to the SHG savings account. The President and Secretary inform about the loan sanction to the group, and upon getting approval from the members, the leaders withdraw the loan amount from their savings account and disperse it to individual members in a special group meeting. The members use the loan for various consumption and production purposes.
Andaman Nicobar State Cooperative Bank was already working for the self-help group promotion and its credit linkage. But with the incoming of Care India, it took say in a speedy way. Around 350 groups have been credit linked with our bank, and we have extended around more than 1 crore rupees to these self-help groups.
In addition to promoting access to financial services for the poor women, CARE also facilitated capacity building of them, enabling them to make better use of the financial resource. For this, CARE worked closely with various line departments and harnessed the provisions for trainings in these institutions to provide skills and capacities among SHG women according to their identified needs like goat rearing, dairy, horticulture, floriculture, organic farming, and paper bag making. The program has reached women who suffer multiple challenges and vulnerabilities in their lives. It has helped them to build new assets and make better use of the assets they already possessed. Women have used the saving and loan services provided by the SHGs to negotiate their difficulties, gain confidence in their abilities, and build resilient livelihoods. Manga belongs to a poor family. She sells spices on the side of the road in the main market. She has 3 children. Manga and 11 other women who are all engaged in the same trade of spices sales, and most of them without their husbands and managing their households, formed SHG 3 years back. All these women heavily depended on this small business to meet their household expenses. With meager and unsteady income, they were forced to borrow from the local money lender at a high 10% monthly interest for their working capital needs and family expenses. When the CRP trained by CARE met them and explained the benefits of coming together as a group, they keenly took up the idea. Today, all the women in the group have benefited from being part of the group.
Now our total savings in the group is almost 1 lakh. All our members take loan from group whenever they need money. We have availed bank loan twice. First we took a loan of rupees 20,000, repaid this in time, and now we have borrowed rupees 1,50,000. We also sell dry fish along with spice. Our income has increased now. One of our members lost her husband after she joined SHG. She now takes care of her family of 3 children independently using her income from selling spice. She takes loans from group for her children's education whenever needed. We are no more dependent on money lenders, and it's all because of SHG.
Membership in SHE has enabled women to challenge and break some of the gender barriers and take up new avenues of employment.
దీనికోసం చాలా కేర్ ఇండియా కూడా
I belong to Pratibha group. 8 of us from our group were keen on getting self-employed, and through discussion with CARE, we decided to take up auto rickshaw driving, which had a good income earning opportunity. Women auto drivers are unheard of in the islands. Our idea was unusual of those around us, and we were ridiculed if we will be able to do this. CARE helped us with training on driving, applying and getting driving license, getting loan for purchase of auto.
Participation in the SHEs have built good amount of trust and social capital among women who have begun to take collective action on some of the issues that affect them. As a platform for solidarity and collective action, they have started earning the respect of some of the key stakeholders in their locality, which furthers their self-belief and promotes self-help in the true sense.
My Manikam, Pradhan Gram Panchayat Umbarliganj.
The main issue in our village was alcoholism. All the men in the village used to drink and also sell illegal arak. Women in the village had to tolerate this for long and suffered. They used to be scared of walking in the streets after dark. Now this has changed. Several women in our village are in the SHGs. They all came together and decided to oppose this. As Panchayat Pradhan, I also supported their cause. They protested by taking out a procession to the police station and staged a dharna in front of it. Their protest forced them to close down the shop. Now women can go out without fear. They were able to achieve this because of the collective strength of all the ladies in the SHGs.
I was a housewife before joining the program. The training and exposure provided by CARE India gave me confidence to go out and work in community. Today I go for door-to-door visits in my community, form groups, mobilize community when need arises. I can walk into any office and ask for information on various schemes provided by the government. All the panchayat leaders and members know me. I have a good relation with the bankers and hundreds of members in the SHGs I have formed and monitor.
Within a very short duration, the Microfinance cum Livelihood program promoted by CARE has gone a long way in promoting financial inclusion, empowering the most marginalized and the vulnerable sections of the islands. A key success factor has been the strategy of promoting CRPs who come from the community and with the training inputs are now well poised to serve the communities in the long run.
अंडमान हमारा है, ये सबसे प्यारा है। अंडमान हमारा है, ये सबसे प्यारा है। चाहे आए चक्रवात या आए सुनामी, चाहे आए कठिनाई या मिलजुल कर हमको है आगे कदम बढ़ाना है। अंडमान हमारा है, ये सबसे प्यारा है। तमिल तेलुगु बंगाली, रांची केरल निकोबारी, तमिल तेलुगु बंगाली, रांची केरल निकोबारी, हम सब हैं